All right, guys, today we're going to be talking about how to change fast, how to make quick changes in your life to transform yourself in a short period of time. This is something that a lot of the guys that I work with really want to do. It's something that I want to do. Most people want to get results quickly, but it usually takes a long time for most people to get results, but that doesn't have to be the way. What it all boils down to is there's two main ways that you can change, that you can transform yourself, that I have found in life. One of those is the slow way, and one of those is the fast way. Now, it doesn't mean that everything that you should always do the fast way, because as you'll see, it's very difficult to do. But you have to pick one of those. A lot of people pick in between. They try to go some hybrid of the two, and that's where they mess up. So the slow way is what I call dipping your feet in the water. So what this looks like in your life is that you take one small step, one habit that you're going to change, and you start doing that and implement that, and then you master that, and then afterwards you move on to another one and you change that small thing. So in a good example of this would be, let's say that you wanted to start waking up early. So you start setting up your alarm for 5:30 a.m. every morning. And that's the only thing that you do differently in your life, is that you just make sure that you wake up at 5:30 a.m. every single day, that you have that alarm set, and maybe you carry that out for just 2 or 3 weeks just to get that down. And once you have that down and you're on routine for that, then you make another change. Maybe now you change your diet and you say, from now on, I'm going to cut out any kind of processed sugar. Right? And so you make that change in your life, and then you follow through that through. Or maybe you do something like, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week, and you just make that change. That's the slow way of transforming your life. And if you do that little by little, as you develop those habits and you start reinforcing those habits and you continually are doing those things, you're going to make changes. Your whole life can transform by these little increments. Think about what happens if you start waking up early, if you start focusing on your work and doing Pomodoro technique or some productivity technique, if you start a side business, if you start going to the gym, if you start eating healthy, if you start running, if you start doing all of these things, but you do them one little piece at a time, eventually your entire life is going to transform. You're going to look different. You're going to sound different. You're going to be more productive. You're going to make more money. These are some of the things that I try to help you guys do in the Bulldog Mindset membership by covering all these areas of your life. By the way, if you haven't joined already, check the link down below. Huge amount of videos. We've got over 150 videos in there. Huge community of men transforming themselves in every way, financially, physically, mentally, and in their social skills and in dating and relationships and all that stuff. So go check it out if you haven't already. So that's the first way. And again, that's probably the way that most of you are going to transform your life over time. And it's probably the method you're going to adapt for most of your life. You're not going to do the second way, the fast way, all the time. But what is the fast way? The fast way is diving into the deep end. So what does this look like in your life? It looks like completely changing your habits and routines all at one time, basically starting over with a brand new life and not taking what you had before. Okay, this is the problem, is it's hard to do, but it can be done. A lot of times the best way to do this is to move to a completely new city, set up a completely new routine, hang around completely different people, and to make all these changes at once. Because what happens is when we live our life, we are used to running it mostly on habits. We mostly run on autopilot. And we get used to ways of doing things and all these little kind of habit loops that we don't even recognize because we're so used to it. It's just our daily routine, our daily life. We have to have that stability in order to function, right? We can't have chaos all the time. So it makes it really hard for us to change because we're resistant to that change. We like what's comfortable. And so again, you can do the small changes, or you can do this fast change where you change everything at once. A good example of this would be joining the military and going to boot camp. It's going to completely reset. You don't have any routine. You don't have your old life. You can't talk to people that you used to talk to. You can't jump on the computer. You can't do any of the things that you are used to doing. And so now you're going to get used to like doing whatever the boot camp routine is. It will change your life because you'll be a different person, because you will not be doing the things that you were doing before. It's going to be a drastic enough change. The drawback of that is that's really hard to do. You have to go all the way. The problem that most people have is that they try to go halfway. They try to partially dip their toe in the water and then they're going in too fast. They're not acclimating, they're not just changing everything at once, and so nothing sticks. They try to develop a habit while they're developing another habit and making these changes, and it becomes overwhelming and too much, and they fall back to the usual routine. The reason why the jumping in the deep end works is because there is no usual routine, because you've completely wiped that out. You've completely burned the boats and you said, no, I'm going forward and I'm going to change my life. So how does this all affect you? How does this play out if you want to transform your life quickly? Well, you need to decide, first of all, are you doing it the slow way or the fast way? And if you said, no, I'm done living my life this way, I'm done with whatever it is that's frustrating you in life, that you're feeling lazy, you're feeling like a failure, you're feeling like you're just not achieving what you want, then you have to say, okay, now I'm going to completely do this. I'm going to make a list of things that I want to change about my life, and I'm going to come up with a plan. You don't necessarily have to move. You could stay where you're at, but you have to come up with a completely life-altering routine. You have to come up with something completely different and change your life in so many ways that you now stick to this new thing, that you don't have something to fall back on. That is the key. So if you want to do that, we can help you do that in the Bulldog Mindset membership. Check the link down below. I've got a ton of videos on transforming your life. I completely transformed my life. If you've seen the photos of me from before and after, I did it in many ways. I did it financially, from broke to multimillionaire. I did it physically, from overweight and fat and whatever, to being ripped, running marathons. And again, some of those things were completely drastic changes that I made all at once in order to really adopt a new lifestyle that I wanted to adopt. And I did it socially, from being socially awkward and whatnot, to having, basically making my living being social and talking to people and coaching people and doing all that kind of stuff and improving my social skills to a large degree. So if you want to do that, again, check out the membership. But remember, there are two ways that you're going to do this. You're either going to do the slow way or the fast way. Do not do the in-between like most people do, and that's why they fail.